how much pressure and priority that grants you in the early game. Maybe get rid of that, give them something else that maybe they like. Let's say McMaster still wants to get priority topside, then they end up picking something else other than Volley Bear. Hopefully that pick is a little more vulnerable than the Volley. Or maybe you change your picks up a little bit. You don't, opt into the Camille, you opt into something a little beefier that's just going to hold the lane.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are so sorry about that. We did have some issues here with production. It seemed like we had a little sneaky driver update happening behind the scenes, out of our control. Yeah, we got the driver gang. We did get a driver gang, but we did get those problems situated, and we are back now, and everything should be good to go. So we are going to go ahead and hop into this game here shortly, and man, we're excited because we just saw that really awesome play going down, and we're going to hop back in mid-play and kind of recap this a little bit for you guys because, man, this was a fucking hectic one, guys, and I love it.
It came down on the wire. Look at all the low HP members. It turns out being a 2-for-1 in the favor of Kent State. Off Nathaniel Lanier looking for a Scion Q that would have done a ton of damage, but Condrex answering with a hook to interrupt it, get that kill, make it a positive trade. And the last thing I was saying, I think, before we cut out, was Drake has yet to be started. So it could be an ARAM run it down to Drake situation. Trying, what do we love more than when teams just reset and run straight to Drake to battle it out?
It's going to be, I'm thinking you're probably right. We're going to see another fight right here. We see here comes Red Team making their way into the jungle, and here comes the TP. And now Delivery Man and Starpwner are in trouble. It's going to be like it's a 5v2 right here, and the rest of the team is not there in time.
Yeah. I think the Delivery Man going to sacrifice his life there to kind of escort Starpwner out on the Aphelios, and Drake looks like it's going over to Mingos here. So, you mentioned earlier the gold lead, not too much of a factor. It's only at 1,700 or so, and with the Drakes going even now, it's definitely anyone's game. I wonder if we'll have to wait that 5-minute timer for another fight, or if we're going to continue with more action.
I hope for more action. We see Condrex here just barely getting hit by that Q, and he's trying to hold this wave. He says, I don't care if Nathaniel's here. I'm going to try and hold this wave the best that I can.
Yeah, he held a few creeps. It does look like a crash here, depending on bonuses maybe. But, yeah, Starpwner going to clean that up, bounce it back. And we got some bounce action here. Nathaniel Lanier, he's going to use his unstoppable charge right through the play. And Condrex barely missing that hook.
And he spams that level 6 mastery.
Right in front of an Aphelios. Could he be baiting him for the Zillion 2v1? We have multiple
members.
members.
To be careful here.
Kaisa's heading down as well, so it's going to be members advantage to Mingos on down here. Starpwner could find himself outnumbered quickly with the double bomb hitting stun. Kaisa W to follow. She could have ultied on that.
I was thinking that she would after the second bomb popped.
But Scion forced to recall and heading back onto the map where we see blue team, that's Kent State with numbers advantage, finding out the Udyr, the unstoppable force from the Malphite here will secure that kill. It goes over to Hecarim now, the delivery man who is on Triforce tab. He's looking to get stronger. We see Echo engaging onto Kenny here on the Seraphine, forcing the flash. You're going to have to time that one.
Yeah, definitely had to flash there. If she got hit with that stun, it was a guaranteed kill for Echo, I think. So well played there by Kenny.
Flash hook by Condrex going wide, and we do see some of the defensive properties from the Zillion pick kicking in this 2v2 here, making it hard to hook, but they're just going to engage. Oh, he almost predicted that.
Yeah.
Kaisa ulti dodge. That would have been a clip for sure. It would have been really nasty, but Chandler Clark evading that one somehow. But it's just all pressure. Condrex another. He's looking to Hex Flash into hook this time. Rascal Dog able to hide behind a minion, but the pressure just coming. You have Aphelios raining autos on you while Starpwner is looking for a hook every 7 seconds or so. It's so much pressure here in the delivery man on the Hecarim coming to back them up. Possibly look for an invade.
Yeah, it looks like maybe trying to make something happen here with Hecarim, but they spotted him out. Udyr's here. I mean, can they not 3v1 this Udyr right now? But he says, we're not even going to try anything like that. I'm just going to take this Gromp and hopefully get out scot-free.
Yeah, tons of pressure bot side with Drake being down for another 2 minutes. So to me, it's a situation where you're setting up a dive on that low Kaisa or you're invading jungle camps. I don't think you press the Udyr in that situation. Rascal Dog here, going to get this done, and the soul on the delivery man side. Udyr can close the gap. Meanwhile, Scion, the flashless Kenny, the flashless Seraphine will drop to Nathaniel Lanier, who flashes at level 6. That's scary.
Yes, it is. But we did see Heckram get away there. I was thinking when I realized the Scion was in that lane, I said, oh, no, Heckram is in deep shit right now. But in reality, they were so focused on taking out that Seraphine. Heckram, I think maybe even ghosted. Yeah, he did ghost to get away there. So only going to be a one man down there for KSU.
Yeah, Mingos getting themselves back on the board, cutting the goal lead even closer here.
Man, I'm feeling a little rusty, Diddy. It's been a couple weeks since I've been here casting some of these games or even really watched any competitive league play.
You've been a busy man. I cannot blame you, Try. The stages of life sometimes get in the way of the League of Legends. Not for me, though.
Yeah. Hey, not for me generally, so.
But we got ourselves a game here, so we'll be warmed up by the end of this one. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking for junglers. We have Harold on the map, but Harold will be consumed by Baron in about a minute and 35, 40 seconds. So.
Okay. Respect. Understood. All right, we got Nathaniel Lanier here. Lanier.
Lanier.
Nathaniel
Lanier. Is
Bear
popping
with us,
off
guys,
on
on
this
the
Scion.
names. Do not feel don't feel bad at all. Please let Holy Boxers know if we're butchering anyone else's names. We do the best we can here.
I got it.
LSS.
Lanier.
All right.
We got this.
We got it.
Understood.
So, sorry about that, Nathaniel. We do our best here.
Oh,
at
hook
LSS.
lands.
And, oh, man.
And Drake's up, so it's a 5v4 for Kent State off another hook from who other than Condorex here. Rascal Dog, I believe, unable to ulti himself. We have Scion ulting in. They're looking to contest 4v5. The first focus is going to be Thresh, but who gets the smite? Drake going low. We have multi-members DPSing. It's red team. That's Mingos with the Drake, but can they win the fight? Star opponent here. Free DPSing, popping off. 2 members go down to Kent State immediately. My next question is, will they rush Baron? It spawns in 20 seconds. I
think they should.
I don't know if they have enough time to. They don't have enough time to kill Harold, but they could look for Baron on spawn as the delivery man chasing Echo away. They have numbers to work with. They did lose the Thresh. But for 2, it's a bit risky. Try right at 20 minutes with only a 1-man advantage.
I'm just trying to see some wild stuff going on here.
Oh, I
Because
cannot
we do
blame
see
you.
Suki and Lanier, if I did it correctly that time. They are spawning just right as I'm saying it right now. So definitely was not enough time to get it down. But, you know, I still like to see those risky plays happening.
It could have maybe been a look try. I think I want to make an argument for it, mostly because you have Seraphine that can heal and you have Aphelios to DPS it. So 2 major tools to take down Baron. But right at 20 minutes, Kent State banking on the pressure that they've gotten and the leads that they have in this game to find themselves in another better position to take that Baron down.
So we safe plays. You know, you can't. You know, sometimes you just gotta take the safe route to secure a game. Can't get ahead right now. They don't want to do anything too risky to throw their lead. Unfortunately, for Kent, Adam Suki getting the smite there, picking up Infernal. So it is going to be an Infernal Soul. Next Drake is up in 3 minutes and 20 seconds roughly. So I think they need to be looking out for that. Both teams definitely want to get a hold of that Infernal Soul.
Yeah, Infernal Soul is going to be the point of contention for these 2 teams, but I got to point out Mingo's doing a good job knocking down turrets. They're up 2 turrets to the 0 for Kent State. Kent State focusing a bit more on fragging out while Mingos here sieging the turrets. So it's a pretty even game at this point. Kent State going to need to knock down some of these structures to get themselves more space on the map to work with and rotate through. Team's posturing at Baron, but again, it is quite early. You would need a decisive team fight win to start this objective, but with no Drake on the map for 240, teams looking to put some vision down on the top half of the map in case that becomes the scenario. Udyr with 2 items completed. He has the chem tank and the, oh, I can't think of that name, Dead Man's Plate for his second item. So that's a speedy Udyr.
And that is a scary Udyr already. And he's going to get Kenny here. I don't think, okay, he doesn't have, he does have flash, but he's not going to burn it or anything for that. Just pushing Kenny off that tower, giving Echo a chance to take some tower HP here. But like I said, this Udyr already at a point where you definitely need to fear him. Not going to lie.
Yeah.
Such a strong champion. And at these 2 items here, he is about the same for Hecarim. But, man, Udyr right now is just...
Yeah, Udyr's an out-of-control champion. We were talking about earlier, you kind of hate to see it as we see the Echo engaging on Seraphine here, forced to ulti. They trade R for R. The last time this happened, it was Kent State that showed up quickly to respond and punish the Echo. We'll have to see if the tides will turn on that play as we see Udyr running down with flash. Udyr flash on Seraphine could be kill. It's going to be at least her flash if they're willing to take that trade. We see 2v2 developing
Udyr,
here, and Adam Suki flying through. Look at this BM. It's going to take a bit of damage that he probably doesn't care too much about. See hook landing in the mid lane on the Nathaniel Lanier. And that's going to be a Philios dropping immediately. I believe it was a Zillion double bomb. Caught Starponer looking at the Scion. Scion using his body to bait, and that's a massive shutdown. Going over to Mingos here, who have now taken the gold lead and are looking to siege the tier 2 in mid lane. A huge turret to grab. Counterx forced to flash as well.
This Udyr is pretty much as fast or faster than Hecarim at this point, it feels like. And you really have to be careful of where you're standing, even around tower. If you are down some men and Adam Suki going right to Baron from here, starting it alone. They do have vision of Condorex and some other members of Kent State clearing vision in the bot side, and they're just saying, okay, this is our chance, go ahead and start, and here's the turn, maybe.
It's definitely contested, right, because all 5 members are alive. They're looking for a turn, and here comes the Hecarim ulti. Kent State's actually going to take the engage. Eyes on Seraphine as she is under pursuit here. She needs to stay alive. The 3-man here going to be able to take down Adam Suki on the Udyr. We see Sion Nathaniel Lanier. He was frontlining, but now he's compromised. That's 2 going over to Kent State. They're looking for more. They're entering into the red jungle of Mingos here.
That's a double kill for Starponer, and he still has flash, so this play is probably not over. Okay, spoke too soon as the members are backing off there. I figured maybe they would go much deeper there, but after taking down Adam and Nathaniel, they're going to go ahead and take this Baron. It's looking pretty free.
Yeah, it does look pretty free. It's a decisive team fight win where enemy frontline, including their jungler, goes down. I don't see a way for them to contest or steal other than Echo TP.
Oh,
flank.
Echo!
Here he comes. He's looking for blood. He will take out Moosinator to start it off, and now he has to peel away. But eyes on Baron. Who's going to take it? That's Kent State blue team. The delivery man will take down the Baron. And now we have another TP coming in that's going to be a Scion. Seraphine too low to keep fighting, but Starponer in the mix, dealing the damage. But what does this Scion
get out here and preserve as many Barons?
Space. The Udyr will get onto Aphelios, and with Chandler Clark there on the Kaisa, he will go down. That's a double now for Chandler Clark, who has come alive in this game, and that is Baron, but a poor kill trade, a 3 for 2 for Kent State. You got to call that worth because they got...
Yeah, they get the Baron off the map, and they still keep 1, but now Mingo's going to pick up their 3rd Drake.
I actually like this from Mingos, and I think it's pretty obvious. The 3rd Drake's so big in this game, and you'll accept Baron going down for a team fight win if it means you can get that Drake number 3 from Mingos. So this game is split open completely. It's 50-50 in my eyes.
Especially getting the Baron off 4 of the members afterwards. I mean, that is a worthwhile play for Mingos. Definitely coming out as victors here in that scenario.
Definitely.
So we'll see if they can pick up this soul. I think it's looking really, really good for them. They're starting to catch up. It's only a 1K gold lead now for Kent State, even though they're up 6 kills. So, you know, they need to be careful here, and they need to be making no more mistakes. Otherwise, we're kind of at that point where one crazy play can end the game. We've seen it happen before. If there's a scenario, so in about 4 minutes and 20 seconds, we're going to have Dragon and Baron up. Depending on how that plays out, we're talking about potentially Mingos picking up Soul as well as Baron and closing out the game off of one team fight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this scrap here that's going to go down in 4 minutes. We see Kent State using their Baron to pressure, get themselves some goal, but it's Scion, Nathaniel Lemnier, engaging with his ultimate, kind of forcing them back. And another thing for me to point out here is Kent State has both teleports on their solo laners, whereas Mingos just used theirs during that Baron play. So if they still have TP advantage for the spawn of Drake, as we see a hook land on the Scion, can they front to back this? You see Starponer doing a ton of damage, and the Seraphine going to keep them healthy. Another hook lands onto, this time, Zillion. It's a front to back Boostinator with a great 2-3-man ulti. Starponer dealing the damage, but they will be able to trade the Malphite back. That's Echo going to have to ulti out. He's going to have to be careful. The delivery man going on the onside of Shadow. Chandler Clark ulting in. This looks like a clean wipe for Mingos as they advance down mid lane with a 5-for-1 trade, only losing Nathaniel Lanier.
That is unreal. What a turn of events. It looked like they were keeping Starponer alive for so long, but then finally they picked up the kill on Starponer, and there was such a lack of damage for Kent State University, and then the rest of the members just went down with ease. Huge plays there by Mingos, and this is what I'm talking about. Now they're going to completely open up this mid lane, and now Baron and Dragon up in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and they, you know, at this point, I feel like they have the advantage. So they just need to play around those objectives, play it slow, make the right decisions, and I think they can close this game out for a victory.
They do have the advantage try. They also have 3 Drakes to 1, so every time that Drake spawns, they're going to be able to take a look at what would be Soul. But I would point out getting mid lane inhibitor, not too much of a factor at the 28-minute mark when you have a champion like Aphelios who's just going to eat those mid lane waves quickly either way. It's quite easy to clear out a mid super wave and make it to Drake. So whether or not Mingos uses that mid inhibitor down as a pressure point, we'll have to see. But I do think it's going to come down to another 5v5 between Kent State and Mingos.
You know, we love those here at the LSS.
We
those
sure
Dragon
do.
fights, those Baron fights.
And can Condorex start with a hook that makes it a 5v4? That's got to be everyone's question at this point, because he has been on fire this game, landing hook after hook, but it's got to be the right timing and the right place, because I think one of the mistakes Kent State made was fighting right outside the turret of Mingos here, as we see a 2v1 possibly develop, although Nathaniel does have some help in the river.
So not only that, talking about Condorex, but also we do see Aphelios here is 7-3 and just picked up his 3rd item. So he is definitely strong as long as they can continue to peel for him well. Last fight, Delivery Man used his ultimate to peel for Aphelios. Those plays are huge if they can continue to play like that and he can get his damage out. He is really, really strong here and can definitely carry the fights. He can definitely shred through this Udyr if he needs to, as long as he can stay clear of being locked up by either the Zillion Bomb, the Scion, or the Udyr. He should be okay.
Yeah, I think Rascal Dog has been sneakily hitting a couple big Zillion Bombs here. It's tough to actually see that spell come out in the midst of so much chaos, but yeah, you mentioned it. He needs to avoid some key abilities to be able to continue DPSing. Another thing is when you have Seraphine on your team, you want to take long, extended fights with plenty of space to cut down. If the fight happens too fast, you're not getting the value of that Seraphine heal. If you take a long, extended fight over time, that Seraphine becomes so broken because your champs just do not lose HP. So I have to see if they take another angle on this fight here. See a 1v1 in the top lane. Echo does have TP up along with Sign, so all 4 TPs up for solo laners. And it's a 4-1 split for either team. What's going to start it? I'm looking at Condorex here first, as the fight for space in the river begins. A lot of tension here, followed by a Drake start. I think Echo's going to have to TP shortly, otherwise they risk just giving Drake over. Kent State opt to just burst it. They're going to rush the Drake. The Udyr tries to find his way in, but he can't. Kent State gets the Drake. Are they going to look for kills? Echo's still splitting, so I think the call is give Drake and split. As we see Mingos disengaging, but as I say that, Nathaniel Lanier with an engage onto the Malphite, they're going to be able to lock him up, but Seraphine with her cooldowns doing a lot of work here. This looks like a pretty good fight for Kent State. Moosinator will use his ulti before he goes down, gets a few men. The Hecarim ulti will follow. They're peeling the dead Scion off of their Seraphine as the delivery man doing more work, but look at Echo. Echo could be hitting base towers at this point. Kent
no,
State,
they need to be careful and look
they
at
need to
base.
stop backs.
I think Mingos here just doing whatever they can to stall the base.
Oh, and the auto comes
no.
through to stop, but the Seraphine's
no.
still in the base. Is this a backdoor? Is Echo actually going to do this right now? Kenny
is.
fighting for his life. Echo with the
God.
final ult. Autos on the turret. He goes in for the E-kill, but he could just been hitting Nexus.
No.
He doesn't have enough time. He will use the stopwatch, the Zanyas, but it won't be enough. Kent State with an exposed Nexus.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that there. Do you think that Echo could have ended the game if he didn't go for the kill on Seraphine? I don't know if he had enough time, but there's always that what if.
I think so. I think
so
his
too.
autos
I think
are
a few
chunking
autos, empowered
Your
E-auto. The E-auto he used to try and kill her could have been used on the Nexus for a huge chunk.
Oh, the Scion Nathaniel Lanier, he's going for it.
Oh my God, this is it. This is it.
Remember, when he's dead, he can still hit it. Dropping autos, but dropping down so quickly to start point. I don't think that Scion can hit this Nexus. He turns for Kenny. They really just want Kenny at the end of the day.
Oh my gosh, what a turn of events.
Losing another
base
member.
Completely open, Nexus open, and are they going to go for the Baron? What does KSU do here to try and stay in this game?
It's really tricky. I think they turn the corner in terms of scaling and how much damage their Philios does as he's at 4 items. I think they win
He's 12 and
heads-up
3
fights.
right now. Starponer just showing how good a ADC he is here. Like we said, he's a very well-rounded player. I was questioning the Philios, but but what do you know? Here he is performing extremely well. We couldn't expect any less from him. Great game so far from both teams, honestly. And it's anybody's game again. Kent State is going to have a really tough time to stay in this game. They're going to have to be really, really cautious of who they have to defend their base. Like we said, Scion can hit the base even if he's dead. They have Udyr. Udyr can be running around the Nexus, smacking, getting off autos while he jukes around. And looks like they're going to start Baron.
Yeah, Mingo starting Baron here. This could be a heads-up 5v5, which I would favor Kent State in. But they have the pressure of the open Nexus, meaning Echo could dip out of this situation, go for end at any point in time. But if you see Echo and Scion and River, you know it's 5v5, you can go ahead and take the fight. It's going to be a front to back as we see Scion will engage. Sharpowner getting the autos off. I think Scion's out of position. He's the focus. Will he go down or will he charge a big Q? Echo will dive in onto delivery, man. Kent State looks to be peeling back a bit. Their Hecarim is
they need to keep Starponer alive.
Yeah, Starponer is healthy and alive. Another hook from Condorex. It's just that Kent State can't afford to go too far. They have to peel back towards their base because it is exposed. And a nice little scrap there with no one dropping. And Baron going over to Mingos, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, so Mingos will get Baron. It adds to their pressure, but the question is, can Kent State still just win fights? If you can win fights, you need to stay together, be near your Nexus, and that is how you got to fight your way out of this situation into a game win. Once those timers get long. For Mingos, I think you don't take 5v5s if you can keep splitting pressure and find a creative way to end the game instead of fighting into the Seraphine of Phelios that just look like monsters out there.
Man, I cannot believe the turn of events for this game. So what do you think Mingos needs to do here? Do they look for the 5v5 or do they look for some sort of sneaky backdoor play? I mean, mid inhibitor is up, so it can't be that much longer before top inhibitor is up as well. So it's going to be difficult to make some sort of crazy backdoor play. I think it has to be off of a fight.
It could start with Echo. Seraphine is quite far out in that lane, and what they should do is split their Baron into all 3 lanes. Echo in one side lane, Scion in the other, and their 3-man in the mid playing cautiously, looking to not get picked, and you have Zillion for that. So with the pressure that they're showing with their members in the bot side, you can expect Echo to look for a split. Maybe he'll run up and hit mid inhibitor during this, but I would have liked to see top wave be brought up. See Echo here with some split pressure. There's multiple Baron waves for Kent State to deal with. I think Kent State can actually manage this situation really well. I think Mingos needs to split all 3 lanes with Baron buff in order to crack another inhib here. And if top inhib respawns, I believe Kent State will actually have all 3 inhibs respawn, which adds another, 5 to 10 seconds to your backdoor.
Yeah.
If you do go for it. So once that inhib does come back up, Kent State will be in a good spot. But look what they just had to give over.
I know,
because
they
of the
had
pressure
to give
of open
up
Nexus.
that Infernal Drake, so now they have Infernal Soul as well as Baron. I don't know how much is left on the Baron timer, but Mingos looking really, really strong here.
And that top wave that I keep talking about is slowly advancing because it's a super wave, so they're looking to play away from their super. So it's a 4-1 split with Echo hitting mid inhib, 4 members in the bot lane. Kent State ideally want to fight because they can't stand too much of this split pressure. Echo is now grouped with that top wave I was talking about. He's looking to play away from the 5v5, you can see. And now it could be assault on the Nexus. Kent State needs to pull the trigger soon because they needed to have already. You could just focus Nexus at this point. Sign will ulti in. It's all about Nexus here. A few hits coming in. Kent State looking to fight, but it's just too little too late.
Yeah,
and Mingos going up 1-0 in this series off a couple crazy backdoors and some map pressure that came out of nowhere.
They did not have enough to kill them through their attack on the Nexus there. So many members just so tanky. They had the Zonias, they had the Echo ulti, they had the Zillion ulti. There just wasn't enough to take them down and stop that destruction of the Nexus. So a great game for our match 1 of the day. Game 1 going over to Mingos, and is this going to go to a game 3?
I think it easily could. Just my first thoughts. I mean, well played by Mingos. They've shown that they are a team in this league that can get wins, but Kent State, I never doubt them in their preparation and, reaction to game 1s.
Definitely. We could see something totally different in draft.
Oh, definitely. We love best of 3s here, because especially coaching staffs. They want a chance to see what the enemy team drafts and then make some adjustments, make some game plans, get your guys all on the same page in comms. Hey, this is how we beat this team. Let's take a different angle. And with those adjustments and maybe a side switch, I could see Kent State taking game 2, but it's not to take away from the really creative win that we just saw out of Mingos.
Definitely. I think we can just go ahead and say Udyr is not making it through in the next draft.
He shouldn't. I don't think he was like a 1v9 giga carry.
But
Udyr.
it was impactful.
It was
hard
impactful.
to deal with, even if you don't see him doing crazy Udyr stuff.
Yeah.
It's still really impactful in that game.
Yeah, that champion's always banned for me. If I'm red side, it's banned, and if I'm blue side, it's probably banned too. Unless my jungle plays it, and I want to first pick it. So
yeah.
That's the only condition. So yeah, I would expect Udyr to not be in the next game. That could open up a different jungle matchup. But these guys are ready to go.
We love it.
I love
we can't forget that they did have to wait on us for a little while due to our technical issues. We were watching that replay as we caught up. Kind of forgot about that, but we are hopping again for game 2 of match 1 today. Game 1 going over to Mingos, and let's see here. We see the Victor and Freshman from Mingos.
Yeah.
Well, Kent State keeping the Sen Olaf ban.
Yeah, it's interesting to ban and Olaf and Udyr. I wonder if it would be third ban, but I don't love the Olaf ban. There could be a scouting related thing that I just don't have information on. But what I like is the respect ban on that Thresh from Mingos here. When you hit that many hooks, that is the champ that they need to get rid of.
Yeah.
So you're taking away 2 hook supports, but you still have Leona up. You still have Alistar and Rel up. So I expect a few of these champs come through. So Kent State will ban Udyr third. This leaves up Kaisa and Seraphine for first pick for Mingos. And it will be Seraphine. Every team takes that champ. Blue side.
No, it's too good to let go. So again, will it be mid? Will it be support? We don't know yet, but good choice regardless. So now we see the Moosenator taking the Malphite again, and hey, there we go. That's a Senna for Star Opponent. Did they ban it game 1?
I know.
What did I say, Senna? Yeah, Samir.
They did not ban it game 1, and Kent State opted into the Aphelios Thresh, which came with much success.
Yes.
But what Aphelios Thresh lack is the backline capability and accessibility that you have from Samira. So it's more of a situation where if Star Opponent gets ahead on Samira like he did on Aphelios, you can expect fights to end and actually get the backline and start executing members with the Collector.
Did we see, was it Star Opponent who did get the pentakill on Samira in season 1?
I think that was Bien, if it was season 1.
It was correct.
I think Star
I wasn't
Opponent
sure, I couldn't remember, but we've seen Star Opponent.
He's got at least a quad.
I was going to say quad this season, I think.
Yeah.
We've seen him perform impeccably on this Samira.
I was going to call for a Rel pick here. Okay.
Oh,
because
nice. Yeah.
it's Samira Rel getting all the way through to this point champ select, and you have the reliability in the Malphite already, and that's going to be your top. This is a really nice 1-2-3 from Kent State. Still with that playmaking capability, this time he wants to jump in the middle of multiple members. So we'll have to see what angle he takes here. And as we go to ban phase number
they take
2.
the Kaisa. I think that's a smart take there.
Yeah, Kaisa could have been third for Mingos, but what Mingos do better is they leave, they flexibilize, so now you really don't know if Seraphine is going to go mid AD, and you can be pretty sure she's not going to go support because she's the All-Star, but keeping a mid
She
AD.
can go AD.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Building AP, correct?
That's something Andrew.
I haven't seen it, and I don't want to. Those kind of things get under
I
my
don't
skin.
want to.
Keep your shit out of the ADC role unless you got a gun or a bow. Like, I don't know. Like, come on. What's up with all this? You just got mixing it up. I like archetype for the roles, for the champions. I think it's fun to have things mix up. Of course, the players who play these champions or like to mix things up love it, but hey.
I think you're not alone.
I'm becoming a more archetype, like, lower fan. Like, I like when you see, like, okay, top playing fighters and tanks, and mid is like mages and assassins. ADC should be, you know, unsposed, whatever. You know, get that. Who am I thinking? Swain? Nope. Bagar? Nope. Get that stuff out of here.
Bot lane. I kind of agree, but you know, there's all the argument of, you know, be flexible, have different stuff pop up. You can never really stop the player base from going outside of the lore and finding what wins
Do you remember
games.
there was a series, I forget who did it, like this was like season 4, a guy always did bring the meta videos where he would play the most ridiculous things, like either smurfing or in normals of him just playing. Who was that? Do you remember?
I don't.
Oh,
I don't remember
Holy
the
Boxers,
meta guy.
my girl, she's looking it up. I could tell. As I'm talking about it, picks up the phone behind the scenes, whipping out that Google. Let me know.
So an interesting Mordekaiser pick when you already have a Malphite lock. This could be a more jungle, it could be a more mid. Probably a more jungle, I guess, if I had to guess. And with his Xayah, how about, does Feathers count in the bot lane?
Yeah, Feathers count bot lane.
Okay.
You might throwing weapons, you know, ranged attack damage style champions.
Fits
That's
the
what I
bill.
like to see. You know, Ezreal can fit in there. He's shooting projectiles out of a magical bow attached to his arm. He does have the Mega Man skin, which I do love, but
I like that one.
Yep.
We do see try, so it's gonna be it looks to us like it's gonna be a Malphite jungle. So flexing that Malphite and picking it early to get the Scion picked early to then answer it with the Mordekaiser. So while flexing the Malphite into the jungle, you got yourself a nice top lane matchup, and you were able to counter pick the mid lane matchup with Kenny on Lissandra. This is a pick we haven't seen him on in a little while,
but we know he is very well versed on it, and
most definitely.
Excuse me, we've seen him perform extremely well. So I kind of was hoping to see a little bit of Katarina. I thought that would have been a little shake-up for what we normally see here
that
in
would
the
definitely be
LSS.
a shake-up.
But Kenny on the Lissandra, a good tried and true pick here, and I think it'll do well against the Seraphine.
I think so too. I think once Malphite gets 6 and Kenny Lissandra gets 6, if Seraphine does not take cleanse, she is insta-dead every single time. Seraphines like to take TP, but I would maybe opt in a cleanse here so that you can cleanse the Lissandra ultimate and then flash the Malphite ultimate, because that combo is going to go down. That's your mid-jungle, both ultis. You got to look mid-lane with it. Seraphine with no tools to really escape if she does not take cleanse. That's where my eyes are going to be once Malphite does hit 6. The issue I have with the Malphite jungle pick is I think Hecarim will outpace him and outscale him. He just needs to pack that level 6 punch that we know.
I was going to say, and then like you're talking about early scuttles, things like that, going to be difficult. Lissandra, Malphite versus Seraphine, Hecarim early over those scuttles. I don't really, I mean, let me know if I'm wrong, but that just, I think they have to give those up. It's going to be really hard to take those. Maybe bot scuttle with the assist of bot lane. You have some potential there, but I think Hecarim's just going to dominate the early game, and once Delivery Man hits 6, we can see things get shaken up a little bit.
Definitely. That's what I'm looking for. But I would give the better mid-jungle duo on paper. I would give it over to Mingos. You have the AP AD damage split, and you have the Hecarim, who I think can outpace and outscale the Malphite. So
definitely
a lot of things to look out for here. I'm most interested to see Starponer have what performance he will have on the Samira here. I think a lot of the Kent State success will fall onto his shoulders, and it looks like they trust him with this draft.
Yeah, definitely. So with that being said, We'll go ahead and head over to a quick break, guys. Don't go anywhere, and we will be back as soon as we load onto the Rift, so we'll see you there.
And you really are playing towards bot mid at that point.
Yeah, but, still shout out to York for drafting this, comp with so much surprise punch in it, right? I see the theory behind it, but another weakness I'm seeing that I don't think we've covered in the comp now that items are coming through is we see that Volibear is able to go second item Thornmail, and I just think this is too effective against the comp coming out from York University with their main damage that's being the Camille Viego, because a Galio and a Seraphine in terms of
looking
AP.
on the Galio. Ton of damage. Shockwave comes out, forces the flash.
That's nice. Flash 4 are there, but long story short, their damage over time threats are both AD, and I don't think there's enough AP to deal with Volibear, so he's going to be a walking brick house in this game, who is able to just go second item full Thornmail with no regrets.
Yep, it's and obviously when those 80 champions are auto attack reliant, that Thornmail feels even better. Now, again, York, they have a solid composition. It's just a matter of having the gold and being in a position to actually contest. Luckily, they did pick up one dragon, right? So that stops the dragon stacking. But before we get to that point, we do see a Baron start here at 24 minutes into the game.
I think it's a take.
I'm sorry?
I think they just take it.
Yeah, they do just take it. I don't see York really getting in position in time. It looks like they have an idea it's up because I see them moving towards the river now. But at this point, it's a little too late. Thresh flashes out with his box. They're looking for the engage. Big Rel ulti comes in. Heckram's on the backline. TP is channeled from McMasters to try and help at this fight. Seraphine comes out. Huge 3-man ulti onto McMasters. Surprisingly, York seems to be staying in this fight. Galio with a 2-person taunt. They're actually getting some kills here. Viego has found some resets, finds their target on Thresh, gets another reset. And right now, it's just Raid Boss Volibear left alive. And honestly, McMasters comes out on top here with the Baron take and a quadra kill for Volibear, but York was out of this game.
Yeah,
they just killed 80% of the McMasters team. Now, obviously, again, it is a net positive for McMasters, but that is good for them. I mean,
yeah, it's just the Volibear is too much to deal with, and props to their comp. We see towards the end of the play, the Viego grabbing a triple here. We saw a massive Seraphine ulti extend across the entire river, hitting 3 members. Camille had a good angle onto Aphelios, who had to flash right away to avoid her slingshot. But at the end of the day, they could not DPS the Volibear. The members that do damage for York, the Camille and the Viego, cannot go toe-to-toe with that champion. And it's Wes Shamansi again on the Volibear with a quadra kill to just seal the deal for that fight for McMasters. But York University showing signs of life in their comp and the combos it can pull out.
Yeah, that Rel engage, grouping everybody up, she's really hard to kill. Unfortunately, Viego kind of walks up and gets deleted from the game.
Yeah, good
with Dragon coming up in 5 seconds, that does mean they're going to be sole point for McMasters, unless, some crazy steal comes in from over the wall, but I suspect we won't be seeing that.
No, yeah, it looks like it's going to be soul lined up. Welcome back, everyone. We are locked and loaded onto the Rift for Week 6, game number 2 between Mingos and Kent State University. This one is a barner. It's a barner. This
one's a barner.
It's just a barner. It's a barn burner and a banger here. We have Mingos coming out on top from game number 1 with some backdoor action that I haven't seen in a long time.
I haven't seen that in competitive play in a very long time. Hey. And I love to see it. I love to see things getting shaken up. I love those level 1 plays. I love the backdoor plays. I'm trying to see some crazy shit in these games, guys.
Most definitely. And we have Kent State battling to stay alive in this series. They want to pull ahead as one of the top 4 teams in this league, but at a 3-2 record, if they lose this series here, they'll be at 3-3. They'll be right in that middle pack and possibly have to play a tiebreaker to fight for their spot in top 4, whereas Mingos, if there was a Cinderella story, a comeback story in this league, it would be Mingos, who started at something like 0-6 in this league, but are putting together win after win and they need this dub here to even stay alive and have hopes in the League Saturday Series.
Hey, I believe. Like I said, we've seen them perform extremely well in a lot of their games, but they've had struggle to close them out. And we kind of talked about this before we even started up the broadcast today. And we kind of talked about, when you talk about a game like League of Legends and you're talking about amateur teams, potentially Mingos is just a group of guys getting together to play these tournaments online. They're high-level players. And sometimes when you get together and you play with your friends, you get in a scenario where, you start to have fun, you start to loosen up, and you kind of lose track, or you lose focus of what your goal is when you're having fun, and those are times where you can let these games slip. And maybe that's what we've seen happen with Mingos so far is we see these players playing extremely well. They start to get a little too comfortable, and they let it slip against these teams who are here to win.
Oh, yeah.
And they lose out on games that they should have closed out for the victory. So, this week, maybe we're going to see them kind of tighten things up and close out these games where they really played phenomenally. Like last game, they played their comp to its strengths, and it ended up working out really well for them. And now, as we get into Game 2 here, we see kind of the same thing happening. KSU here, the bot lane, Condurex and Starpone are coming out aggressive, taking some good trades against Mingos here in the bot lane. And we'll see how that plays out. But I think this Condurex Starponer, they are on some very comfortable picks for themselves right now.
Most definitely. And the Seraphine, the Samira Rel level 2 rush can be deadly. So the fact that Mingos got through that alive is pretty good. Not having to use any sums, but having to use all of their consumables here puts Kent State in a pretty good position. And yeah, we just see the strengths of these duos that Kent State are pulling out, getting advantages in the early game in bot lane. It's all about transitioning those into a game win. And we see junglers pathing away from each other. This is definitely good for, I think, Malphite, who cannot really fight in the river till he has 6. At least fight that well. So trading crabs would be good for him. Let's see where Heckram goes after this crab. He could go his grump, he could go top, he could go through mid and look for a double crab. Or lastly, he could invade the red side of the delivery man, which will be respawning shortly.
So not too far behind in farm, but Heckram making his way into Malphite's top side to see if he can scrounge anything up here. But it looks like all the camps are down. So unfortunately for him, not going to be able to pick anything up. But maybe he can get some good vision down here and suss out Malphite later on to be able to make a play, maybe on bot side when he spots him top or etc. But now they're matched in farm. I thought maybe that was Heckram's chance to kind of get ahead, but with no camps up.
He could go take Krugs too from the Malphite here. You see this big push from the big push from Nathaniel means that Heckram could be taking Malphite's second set of Krugs, and that's actually where his lead would start.
Yeah, they just came up, and looks like someone's pinging the Krugs now. Maybe it's Malphite pinging, hey, Heckram might be here.
It could
Maybe
be.
he wants Musinator to check it out, but not really having a chance here, trying to keep his wave set up well for himself.
And so far, so good for Delivery Man on this Malphite. Able to full clear, get Crab, recall, and go get his Krugs too. That is all according to plan on this champion because you kind of want to avoid skirmishes until you get your 6, as we've been talking about. So instead of showing up to dead Krugs and a farm disadvantage, the Delivery Man able to take his Krugs too and continue another full clear. My eyes will be on Heckram. He could visit bot lane here. They do have a ward in Tribrush, but he is a fast boy, and he's going river. He'll have to pass through Scuttle Crab Vision, and he is going to look for an invade.
So we saw, I'm going to assume the pings that we saw on the minimap were from Malphite, but Malphite was pinging out enemy Raptors Heckram was on them. So doing a pretty good job of keeping track of this Heckram, but now losing his bot or his blue side camps. So let's see what he does here. If he makes his way into that quadrant of the jungle, he's going to be in trouble, but potentially he could do a... okay, he's not going to go. I was going to say maybe he could go into Mingos blue side, but he's going to go and find out that his camps are gone.
Yeah, he's going to come across Dead Wolves. He might look to go to his Gromp, but what Heckram and the bot lane from Mingos has done is they were on a bounce themselves, so they're pushing a double wave into red side where it could not be contested by the Samira Rel. So it's going to result in Drake number 1 going over to Mingos here as it does fall. And so you're not down in camps as Malphite, but you are down that first Drake. But giving away first Drake because your bot lane has a push is pretty common thing to do in the early game. So Malphite, not too worried about Drake 1 because he is still level 5. He needs that 6 above all else.
Yeah. So still tied up in farm with this Hecarim, though. So, like you said, a really great start for Malphite here. I think we both expected him to get much further behind, but he's doing pretty well for himself. And I think he's in a good position. Hecarim not doing too much across the map before Malphite gets 6. Hecarim obviously looking to get his 6 as well. So.
And I think this is the slow start we were kind of expecting when we saw last game's jungle matchup. It's actually happening this game. Kent State does not want action anywhere other than probably this 2v2 until Malphite gets 6. So a really slow early game start. Bit different than last game. Which team does this give the advantage to? You can talk about scaling. It's kind of Samira versus all. In that regard, you could talk about who has the better split, the better 1-3-1. That could also be Kent State, if I'm not mistaken. But here's the 2v2 we were talking about. When Rel goes in and CCs you, Rascal Dog with a nice bot back. But, ooh, so what happened there? Starponer looked to W. Oh, Konrak's going back in. They're looking for the lethal onto the Xayah because she doesn't have her E to pull in, but a good knockup from the Alistar. Can he trade kills? The ulti comes out from Starponer, but it's not enough. They will trade 1 for 1, but it's the AD dropping, and meanwhile, the delivery man gets his 6. He pulls up mid, and what do we have going on top lane? It looks like Musinator could do this. Nice sidestep away from Nathaniel
you need to get away from this.
Does Dead Scion do it here? I don't think so. The E comes out to protect him, and we see a solo kill in the top lane for Musinator here for Kent State. That's pretty huge. We also saw a mid gank by Delivery Man turning the tides of that lane, and a 1-for-1 trade where Samira is going to pick up a kill, and Xayah does not. So Kent State with a nice series of action here in the mid game. As soon as Malphite hit 6, we saw some plays happening.
Yeah, definitely. That was plays across the map here, looking good for Kent State University. 1 to 4 in kills, up about 2K gold. So they need to look out for this next Drake. If they can secure this next Drake, they're looking pretty good as far as objective and kill pressure goes in this game so far. But let's take a look at farm here. So still pretty closely matched up all across the board for CS. We see Adam
2v1 here. Musinator with no ultimate here. He finds himself being ganked by Adam. I don't think he can win this 2v1, but Mordekaiser can heal, he can shield. It's just not enough. Adam Suki with a nice pickup here, punishing the flashless and ulti-less Mordekaiser in the top lane as we see Rascal Dog with an engage, answered by Connor X. They'll stun up the Alistar. He pop ulti. Not sure what will come out of this. But Malphite, it's the delivery man around the corner. He does not have ulti for probably 10 more seconds.
Yeah, spotted on a pink, though. I'm going to clear some of this vision and just leave. Will he come back with ulti, though, and look for a play bot side now that he's cleared a vision?
He could go mid. It's so easy to go mid on that Seraphine with no cleanse. That could be where his next gank goes. I wouldn't be surprised if he just is revisiting mid.
Just set it up with a claw stun from Lysandra, and then it's a free ulti.
Toast.
Yeah.
She's toast in that scenario, so we'll have to see.
We see him making his way here. I think we can go ahead and maybe say hasta la vista to Nick here because there's no way he's making it out of this one alive.
We see the ulti flash, pretty decent effort by Nick, but without cleanse, you just die there every single time. We called it out. They probably knew that in Champ Select going in. We'll see if a 2v2 erupts here. But I gotta shout out Kent State as they get ahead early in this game. Obviously, Mingos not out. They came back last game, but some of the draft tricks we saw try in Game 2, you leave the Malphite out there hanging for the Scion counter pick, and then you answer it with Mordekaiser. You still have Malphite who can combo well with the Lysandra, and your Mordekaiser is getting solo kills in the top lane. So some of those draft adjustments and tricks we saw coming out of Kent State actually proving to be effective in the game, and you love to see that in these best of threes.
Love to see it. So I didn't even realize that, but Hecarim does have Herald there. I did miss when they grabbed that. I must have been focused on a fight. Maybe that was during the play that they made on Seraphine in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Hecarim was taking the Herald, but I did miss it, so we do need to look out for that. Where does he look to drop this? Definitely wants to get it down soon so they can get the gold from the plates before it runs out. He's heading towards mid or bot side river, so maybe they want to look at this dragon. I'm not really sure. Do you want to drop the Herald before you look for the dragon? Do you want to drop the Herald and then go to dragon with it? I don't know necessarily what's the best option to play, but it looks like maybe he's going to start dragon here.
Yeah, starting Drake with Herald in his pocket, so kind of splitting the difference here, and it will be cued by the delivery man. Here comes the combo onto the Seraphine. She just can't walk there with Kenny around. Beautiful setup by Kent State. It's going to be answered here by Rascal Dog a bit, but that's their Hecarim dropping as well. Alistar in the mix. His ulti's going to wear off soon. Nathaniel Lanier is here, but Kent State has numbers. Moosinator doing his job too. And it's Starponer picking up the Zaya. Can he look for a 2? This would be terrible news for Mingos. That's a double kill. Can you give Samir the triple, or is that Scion dead already? He's not. He's alive. That's an ace. Last kill picked up by Moosinator on Mordekaiser. And because of the Seraphine, the no cleanse, the immobility, and Kenny's spot-on playmaking, Kent State will take Drake number 2 and even that up.
That was such a clean execution there for Kent State, taking down 5 members for none, as well as getting the dragon. Just really, really well played out. Starponer able to pick up 2 kills there, looking really strong now. I think that was really, really bad for Mingos, but I don't think it's the nail in the coffin yet. They can still come back in this game, but they need to play very cautiously. They need to take the plays that are guaranteed for them and not really risk it anymore, because it's hard to say. It's just that right now you do not want this team to continue to scale into this game. If you keep giving them the advantages, I think you're going to seal your fate here. So I think you need to play it safe, scale up, play around the Zaya into the late game. Oh, no.
Look at that rel action from Conrex, finding the play out of the brush and feeding a kill right into Starponer on the Samira, who has finished Shield Bow, and if she gets an accelerated collector, it's bad news for Mingos here. So another heads-up play by Conrex. Him and Kenny with the playmakers here with the delivery man with that hugely impactful ultimate, setting up a Kent State win and a Game 3 if they can continue the pressure. And now that Herald goes down, it reminds me it was great that you called out, hey, they have Herald, how are they going to use it? And here comes the Malphite ulti into the Lissandra root. The Lissandra ulti charm goes wide, and that is just a dead Seraphine again.
Under the tower. It's so guaranteed at this point that if they both have ulti, what can you do? You can't do anything as Seraphine there. Like you said, without the cleanse, it's just mid lane is a death trap at this point.
It absolutely is. You need to have Hecarim ready to 2v2, and you kind of have to have Flash on the Seraphine to even consider an outplay. And when those 2 conditions are not met, it's just free food for Kent State as they advance into this mid game. But yeah, what I was saying is you could have maybe looked to have a more creative Drake start with the Herald try, but I'm not sure how much we'll be able to get into that because Conrex is still hunting. I believe they had vision on him. And he will get bopped away. So Rascal Dog, good job. You need to do that every time. That's part of why you pick Alistar in the rail. Alistar has multiple options of modes he could play. He could play disengage or engage. So it's not too bad of a matchup. But we see a 2v1 in the top lane. Nathaniel Lanier, he's going to flash. He's going to try and ulti away. And that would have had to been Delivery Man's flash to secure that kill. He did not have it up, and no dice. But pressure kind of everywhere from Kent State.
What is the Samira ability called that she spins around and blocks projectiles? Do you know the name of it?
No.
Me neither.
It's W, I know that.
Yeah, it's W. I was going to say using it really well there to block the E from hitting a stun on her. Just a good use of ability usage.
It's hard to react to those Zaya feathers. If you pull that off, that's a nice 2-for-1 on the ability, and that can turn fights just because
you never know. She can activate it immediately. They could stall it out. Like it does have a small cast time, but you can mix it up.
Yeah.
So it's not that easy to read. So you have to have really good reaction time.
Definitely, as we see a possible 3v3 action. Could be a 4v4 soon, as Adam Suki on Heckram kind of looking, but Kent State members seem to be aware. And is Kent State just going to group for this Drake? It's a question we ask pretty much every game, and it comes down to it more often than not. Looking at TPs in the top lane, both are down for probably, 30 seconds, if I had to guess. And will be up for Drake. So we could see our first 5v5, which would be heavily Kent State favored, and I would not blame Mingos if they wanted to give that and look to trade away on the map. Looking at junglers here, Heckram on the bottom side of the map, Malphite crossing over on that side as well. So Drake within a minute spawning, members are showing up to get vision here. We see this 3-man unit, pretty deadly from Kent State.
Yeah, we have no TP. Well, I don't know the exact time, but I think TPs for both top laners are going to be up as the dragon spawns. So we might see another 5v5 here over this Drake. It is Infernal Drake, so I know both teams do want to get their hands on this. And it looks like KSU already setting up for something a little cheesy.
Yeah.
They might catch the Alistar here. Oh, he does have...
Oh, we'll look for the rel
spicy.
engage on the Alistar. He will immediately ult and flash. So 2 major tools from Mingos just on a face check here, just on clearing that vision out.
Yeah, that's going to make taking this dragon in a 5v5 really difficult for Mingos. Those 2 abilities on Alistar are pretty key for their team fight.
I think he looks for steal and chill here. So Adam Suki, actually, they're going to 5v5. They're going to take it. He will engage on a Condorex, and the focus is Starpwner here. Can he stay alive? Can he sustain? Can he pop the ulti? He will dash. He's ulting. He's healing a ton, but will he drop? He finally goes down. And now Seraphine and Cyan are alive, but their teammates have all fallen. So far, it's a 1-for-3 here. Can these 2 members fight against these low HP bars? Are they looking to steal Drake? Seraphine could be compromised shortly as Nathaniel Lanier will drop. And that's Starpwner. I thought that guy died a minute ago, but he's alive.
Yeah.
And that means there is a Drake take for Kent State. I swear I saw...
Nope, he never went down
No?
in the fight. He ultied. I think he saved himself with the W and made it out alive. And now Starpwner 5-1. 2 items, maybe picking up boots here. I can't tell.
He has leather boots.
Okay, he has leather boots. So, I mean, man, he is already in great shape for this game.
Yeah.
Up an entire item on this Xayah, and we're getting to that point where it's going to be really difficult. If KSU plays it right, they could definitely close this game out sooner rather than later. Obviously, the longer they let this game go, the harder time they'll have, but they are very, very far ahead right now. We're looking at about a, what is that, 5 almost 6K gold lead, and up a dragon as well as a ton of kills. So I think if they start grouping and making the right plays, they could start to whittle down the forces of Mingos and start to break open base and look to take the victory.
Definitely. They need to keep the pressure up, and I'm sure they will. My question is, with Drake spawning in 4 minutes and Baron coming up in 20 seconds, are you going to look to play Baron for Kent State? As we see, Kenny could possibly be caught out, but Lysandra hard champion and kill. We see the answer by Condorex, followed by the ulti by Heckram, which was followed by the ulti by the delivery man, but nothing to come from that skirmish. Just a couple R buttons smashed here in the mid lane. And yeah, my question is, does Kent State look for Drake before, or I'm sorry, look for Baron before Drake number 4? When it's 20 minutes, it's always a question, right, Try? And most teams will just look to play around Drake. So
I think they're far enough ahead that you do want to look for that Baron. I think that a lot of times when you're talking about in this competitive setting, you know, you want to take the safe route, but at the same time, you are really far ahead. Can you go to Baron and either take it or force a fight at this point in the game? I mean, I think they can.
We see a 3v2. Mingos jumping on Starpwner's face. Can he sustain this? There goes the ulti. Look at that healing. It's kind of ridiculous, but he will go down. Shut down to Adam Suki on the Heckram, and now Kenny could find himself out of position. Alistar goes in, but the team is calling it off. The team is saying, we will take that shutdown every day, and they will walk away with some half HP bars and a great play from Mingos there. Taking that 3v2, all they need is a few seconds, and the healing looked insanely scary on Samira.
It did. I think that the Lysandra TP was a few seconds too late. If she had gotten there earlier, You never know how that could have turned out. Not Lissandra's fault. The play happened pretty quickly. And,
For sure.
Of course, to respond immediately can be difficult depending on what she's doing, what she's focusing on, how her lane looked. Was she in base? I don't know where she came from, but a good attempt, and unfortunately didn't get there quick enough.
Yeah, and if you were going to say what are Mingo's steps to getting back in this game, I would say Heckram killing Samira would probably be step one. It's got to be best case 1-0 for Mingos here, and Baron does not look like anything Kent State wants to play for before Drake number 4. So this fourth Drake, the question is, does Mingos even it up, or does Kent State get on sole point? The bigger question could be if they 5v5, who wins that fight, right?
Yeah,
because you could see multiple shutdowns in the event that Mingos win the fight and get Drake. It's multiple shutdowns and evened up, and this game would be back to about 50-50, if not 60-40, maybe Kent State.
If they're looking to win a team fight, they need to take down Starponer, but easier said than done. I think they're going to have difficulty getting on top of him, staying on top of him, and having enough damage to kill him in a 5v5. As we saw there, Suki had a good play down bot 2v3 and was able to take down Samira, but it's hard. I mean, I don't know. Do they need to look for a pick before they can fight? I think if they fight front to back, the delivery man, the Moosinator, they're too big. It's going to be hard to get through them onto the Samira with their ultis up, with Kenny ulti up, with Kondarex ulti up. It's really, really difficult.
Yeah, it seems like Kent State has been setting the pace and making the first move, the first initiation. They kind of have more direct engage tools between Malphite and Rel, right? So when Kent State is pulling the trigger, it has looked pretty good for them. So I like your questioning, and is Mingos going to be the aggressors, the starters of the team fight, and the initiators? And if that's the case, can they also manage to get on Samira? Those are two big questions. We're going to have to see how it plays out. Drake up in about 10 seconds. And Seraphine has flash, and that's huge because Seraphine has not been able to participate in this game pretty much, and her being alive for a fight could make the difference, but she'll have to use her flash probably on Malphite ulti if I had to guess. And coming in, this Tribrush solo could be risky as well. Here we see the Drake is started up by Kent State University. They're pulling members into their vicinity so they could maybe look for and engage. I'm looking at Drake's HP bar, watching the junglers here, the delivery man.
Heckram ulting, or
Cyan ulti's in the delivery man with a nice 3-man responded by the Heckram ulti. It's going to be a front to back. I lost track of Starponer. He's off the screen killing some Seraphine. That's not good. Starponer's probably going to go crazy here as they already pick up 2 kills, and the front to back easily goes to the side of Kent State. I did not see what Starponer did to kill Seraphine, but that cannot happen.
Yeah.
Seraphine cannot be alone trying to get through Tribrush against Kent State, simply
I don't know
put.
what their intentions were with Seraphine going around into try instead of fighting with her team on the other side of Dragon Pit. I think that was a big misplay. I don't know, was she trying to go for a flank? Maybe she can get a big ulti, surprise ulti off or something, and they sussed it out. They saw her on a ward or something, but I'm not entirely sure. But it just did not work out how they intended it to.
Yeah.
And now it's looking really tough. I mean, man, we're at 200 CS, 6-2 and 6 on the Samira. 2 items, boots. I don't even know how much gold she has now, but probably heading back to base to get another chunk of something, coming back even stronger.
Grievous wounds,
and
maybe?
Now I think they want to start looking for this Baron.
Samira could pick up Grievous Wounds right here. No, will opt into the BF. And now she could, if she were to have Grievous, she could be a solo.
Oh, and would you
threat
look at
unit.
that? I forgot. We got the spicy setup here on production. And yeah, so picking up, looking for
Infinity
IE
Edge?
now. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, unless, oh, wait. It could be Bloodthirster. I think Bloodthirster has a cloak in it nowadays, and I think that could be Samira's third item. I would have liked to see Grievous. It just increases the chances that if you ditch your team and go for that dashy pentakill, that you can actually get doing the kills. But we see an engage in the mid lane.
Oh, no.
Seraphine has no flash. She is just bread and butter for Kent State's playmakers here. Chandler Clark forced the flash away, but the Malphite ulti and no Xayah ulti means that she is dead, and Kent State are just closing the curtain in this game, play after play.
And here comes the Baron. It's going to be free for them. That maybe Heckram can look for the steal, but honestly, I don't know there's much they could do even if they get the steal. They've got 2 members down. Will he even survive off of a steal? He's wrapping around looking for this.
Yeah, and Kent State need.
Oh, and he doesn't make it over.
That's really rough. That's a feels bad. I'm not sure what else to say. Even if you ulti in the pit, it would have been up to Kent State to DPS the Hecarim, not the Baron. I think it was at 2K, 2,500 when he did that. So it would have been a test of Kent State's patience to DPS Hecarim only. But, yeah, it just looks like a desperate play. But you can't blame the man for getting desperate.
I feel for Nick here in the mid lane. These games feel real bad. You know, all you're trying to do is catch up and stay relevant, but you get picked as a mid laner pushing up too far like that, getting taken down by what I think it was a 3v1 at the time in the mid lane. And, oh, man, I know how that feels. It's really rough. And doing the best they can, but it looks like at this point I want to say, you know, the seal has been they sealed the coffin at this point, and I think we're going to be going to Game 3. You know, Caster Curse, though. I may be speaking too soon. Mingos might come back here, but, you know, I'm not complaining because you know what we love here at LSS.
Game 3s, baby.
Game 3, baby.
That's where the men are separated from the boys in that Game 3.
Is, wow.
Yeah.
Philosophical words there,
I mean,
my man.
it's just the reality I see. There's no other way to put it when you talk about Game 3's League of Legends.
Yes, definitely.
Can't get more hype. But, yeah, I think the only way Mingos wins this, in my opinion, is you give Soul, because if you fight again, you just die, and then you can steal Elder and fight. So you make it an Elder game.
Yeah.
And you go in with the Hecarim R, you try and steal it, and if you do, you maybe have like a 20-30% chance of stealing it. That's probably better than your odds that you have right now in this board state. And another thing I should say, we talked about the risk-reward of playing Baron right at 20 minutes. Kent State, their patience paid off. They didn't have to play Baron at 20. They just played for Drake. They won that fight, made it even easier to get Baron after Drake 4 went down. And you can see kind of the classic play working for Kent State because they're just executing far better.
So, Dragon up in 40. It seems like, I just feel like there's like, I mean, I know they're clearing here. They're looking for the soul, but why not use this Baron to be split and applying more pressure? They do, I know their team is so much stronger in the 5v5, but, you know, they're spending a lot of time hanging out in River right now.
Yeah, it's when you have Baron, it's always a question of Baron efficiency versus taking Drake, right? You could have Baron in 3 lanes pressuring and still grab Drake. But this 5v5 setup could reward them if Mingos decides to contest. I think Mingos should want them to have this soul so that Elder spawns in 5 minutes because that's your only shot back into the game. But they will look to contest, and they're going to have to fight through Star Poner and the gang here as they're over the wall. Kenny will go in with the engage onto only Rascal Dog, who will ulti. Seraphine's in a better spot this time, and a beautiful knock-up. A huge Seraphine ulti. This could be Mingos if I've ever seen it, but no.
Star Poner in the back just going to town.
Star Poner, and he dives in. Here's where he might need Grievous, but there's the double. There's the triple. The reset's coming in. That looks like a Katarina with a gun there. And Star Poner, I think, just closing the curtain in this game, ending the deal. I'm not sure if they rush end here, but it is looking grim for Mingos.
This man is a maniac on the Samira. They cannot let it get through Champion Select. We've seen it time and time again. I'm not going to lie. Samira has to be one of Star Poner's top 3 champions that he's played on in our series. He is absolutely amazing on it. I wonder if we could look back and find a game that he's lost on the Samira pick. I don't even know if there is one.
It'd be hard to find.
Realistically, I don't know if Star Poner has lost a game in the LSS on Samira. Chat, if you guys know, if anybody from Kent State is in the chat and they know, you know, let us know.
That.
And if nobody has the answers, you know, I bet that they'll be answered in our interview with Holy Boxers if KSU takes this game or takes Game 3. But we'll see.
This game and Game 3.
Dude, am I just biased and terrible for thinking that this game is over? Because, man,
you're just terrible.
I am just the worst. Caster bias up here, but I mean, I'm looking at the scoreboard. I'm looking at the gold difference. I'm looking at the objective difference, and it just looks like a for sure guaranteed game for Kent State. They really have to mess it up to lose this one.
Are we not all biased, Try?
I guess we
It's
are.
one of our fundamental flaws.
Yes, as a human.
As human beings.
Yep,
So, shame on you.
So, I mean, look at this. 272 farm, 11-2-7 on Star Poner here. And as I'm just covering that, look at the rest of the team. 8-0-11 on this Malphite, 3-0-14 on Kenny. These guys are just so beefed up right now.
And I love this about best of threes. Kent State did not have to go to their go-to bot lane duo. They went with the Philios Thresh, and that was scary enough to where Mingos, whoever's doing pick ban, they're not going to randomly ban Samira round one, even though we might know he's good on the champ. It's just too much to respect. So Kent State showing that they're not going to have to go to their A play, their number one play in game one. They can pull it out in game two and force a game three where they have the momentum. And the Samir pick is going to probably have to be banned. Sign ulti, a lightweight engage, just a bit of a look.
Yeah, you know, maybe if he got something good there, they could be set up. But, I mean, I don't know. So take this time real quick to kind of break this down. Do you think there's a way for Mingos to come back in this game? Obviously, if they want to fight and got, Baron or Elder, that's their chance. But can they even take a fight from Kent State at this point?
No, they can't fight. There's probably two schools of thought. One would be go for Baron steal and flip the game. And that is maybe a 20-80 or a 10-90 play. But you could also say give Baron, wave clear, protect base, and go to steal Elder. If you steal Elder, that is your only shot in hell of beating these guys in a team fight. And so that you can maybe get your chances up in the 20s again with that line of play. So, but that would involve giving up Baron. You can look to, make picks in the side lane as we see Nathaniel Lanier. I think Moose actually wins this over time with the Riftmaker healing.
Oh, man.
So
burning the flash on Sion there. It's a good look, though. Nathaniel doing what he can to try and get them back in this game. If he got the pick there, maybe they could group up and take this fight 4v5 or even go for the Baron. So, good attempt there. Doing what they can to try and make their way back into this game.
Yeah, so maybe if Kent State's going Baron, you could send multiple members to Mordekaiser here and look to get that pick. And that way you're actually getting something for the trade of Baron, as we see Seraphine lined up ready to match the Mordekaiser. But I don't think you can test Baron. I don't think you can walk into your own blue jungle. I think it's going to come down to Elder. Now, here's the thing. If Kent State doesn't get Baron in the next, minute, which I think they will, you can, while the enemy team is Baroning, you can set up a trap at Elder. So a pink ward or two where the entire team stacks in a brush, knowing that when Baron goes down, they're going to go Elder next, and you attack them with a trap. But if the timers are too, what's it called, staggered, then that play wouldn't be possible.
Okay. So
but Kent State's not killing Baron. They're just not taking Baron.
I wonder if they're waiting to. So
they could, yeah.
They wait this 1 minute and 45 seconds for Elder, and now they pretty much get one or the other, if not both.
They want both. They want to go. Maybe they take it when it's 30 seconds, so you go Baron, then Elder into N, because you can't stop a Baron and Elder. But then again, that opens you up for that trap I was talking about. But still, you win that. Even if you face check, you still win as Kent State. So, yeah, I do think they're going to get the timers a bit closer so that they can have both buffs. There's no world in Kent State's eyes that Mingos ever gets Elder. Yeah. They're banking on that to be their closing win condition. And all the while, they're just choking them out of pressure. There is no pressure. There is no blue vision past River at this point. And
yeah. And Kent State still playing it slow and calculated, not making any mistakes, even though they're this far ahead. They're not getting cocky at all. They know what needs to be done to close this game out, and they're trying to play it to a T.
It might be a bit late. I don't love Kent State's call here to have Baron be on the map for that long when you have this much control and just not take it. If Baron is a non-factor and it's all about Elder, you could have that buff and that advantage, and now you're just taking a heads-up 5v5. Yes, it's in your favor, but again, the Elder steal the only way Mingos can come back in this game. So Baron not even being a factor, I think, is good for Mingos here.
Okay. Like you're saying, if they just if they steal this Elder here, and then win the fight off of that, they could go and get Baron and close the game out.
Yeah, Baron should be off the map and on Kent State right now, in my opinion. But here we go. Scion we see on the top half of the map, but has TP. With the speed of the engage from Kent State, he might want to consider an early TP, but it could be steal and chill for Hecarim. We're watching Adam Suki here. Gonna look for the smite steal. Otherwise, you can call it Kent State match win. He goes around. He's going in a bit early because it's at 3K. They need to kill Hecarim and not the Elder. Hecarim and not the Elder here. The damage going down. He will drop, and that is Elder buff going over to Kent State. Rascal Dog doing what he can as Alice Star, but great job by Kent State to go ahead and focus. But now we see the trade coming in, which is another risk you take. Imagine they had stolen Elder and gotten Baron with the recalls. I think this was a bit shaky from Kent State, but the gold lead at the end of the day and Hecarim going a bit early means that it's Elder buff versus Baron buff.
I think that's still going to go down here. I don't think they can defend the 4v3. That's still 20 seconds.
Once their minions spawn, but they have Baron minions here. Baron minions are pretty tricky to siege into. We see Delivery Man will go in for a 2-man. That's Kenny with the follow-up. They're just going to take the base with the fight. A big engage. That's Starponer going in for another double before you could even blink.
Oh, my God. Did you see Starponer there just absolutely delete Zaya? I didn't even see the health bar go down. I just saw it disappear.
And that is the gold lead and the Elder buff coming through for Kent State. Although they could have gotten Baron, they proved to us they do not need Baron whatsoever to win this game. So I guess we can't fault them for their prioritization because they got what matters and they went and took the Nexus, forcing a Game 3 against Mingos here in Week 6.
Man, and you know we love Game 3s here, so I'm excited to see where this goes. I still have some hope for Mingos here. They performed Game 1 to their comp really, really well. I think they need to take away the Samira. I think they need to be cautious about their picks, and I think almost taking away the Samira is enough to really give them a chance. Like we said, Starponer, really well-rounded player, has a diverse champion pool, but like he is so strong on that champion.
Yeah.
We've seen him perform so well time and time again. And just in general, like, what is her state in the meta?
She is like still broken, but is gonna get a nerf that could really take her out. Okay. The nerf that she's gonna get is, among other things, she cannot E to her allied champions anymore. Right. So if you're in a 5v5, let's say in the river. An enemy, maybe an ally minion would still work, but maybe it's all allies that don't. So a lot of players, I think, are a bit reluctant to play Samir on this patch because I think it's next patch she will take a hit. But she's still broken enough to where she's, you know, largely banned in high elo solo queue because of the way she could just 1v5 games and pentakill. She's still pretty broken.
Yeah, and we've seen it. She does crazy on there. So we're getting these teams ready for the next match. So who do you think? What are your predictions?
I think Kent State takes Game 3. They have the momentum. If there's any tilt involved, which is a very real thing, you could expect maybe Mingos, some of their players, a bit frustrated with how that game went.
Yeah.
I think you
can't blame them for that either. I would definitely be feeling it right now. You know, but I'm going to change my bias over a little bit.
Oh.
You know, I do think I'm going to say my prediction is Kent State takes it, but bias caster here. I want Mingos to take this. I want to see the miracle run here
the
from
miracle
Mingos.
run.
I want them to have a chance into the playoffs. I want to see them perform. Like we said before, they do perform extremely well. Here's your chance, guys. I want to see you bring it out, win this game for me. I'm going to go. I want Mingos to take Game 3.
All right, very good. Well, we had it, so we'll be butting heads here in a minute as the game, I'm sure, is going to come down to a late game Dragon Fest or something like that. But just another point is the pick ban is such a big deal, something I obviously pay a lot of attention to. I think Kent State just has the upper hand in terms of what they can play in the meta that works and what Mingos can, because we saw Mingos with the first pick Seraphine that did not look great mid. So if you are picking Seraphine and not making use of it, that is a lot of power that goes in the hands of the enemy team, because now they don't have to ban it. They don't even have to pick it early. They could pick it third and get so much value out of like an insanely OP pick coming later in the draft. I just think you can checkmate teams in terms of confidence and draft, to where Kent State could probably get a draft here, game 3, saying we got what we wanted, guys. This is our game plan. And for Mingos, you have to battle the adversity of the momentum being on the other side. You need to maybe pull out something creative in pick ban, and like if you can't get your hands on Udyr, you know, you got to find another power pick, something else to play around to find success.
Yeah. So, man,
and here we go. It's game 3.
Pick ban for game 3 of match 1, week 6. Damn,
so
we
now,
still got another best of 3 after this.
Let's we could talk about how the sides have switched. So Kent State with first pick now. Is it true that red side is 2-0 in the series? Yeah.
Yes.
Red side is 2-0 in this series, and Mingos with red side this time around. So you could say that could be the favorable side, or you could just say not enough games to really tell. But we see Samir going down right away.
It was a good choice to take that away. So let's see, who were their other bans? They had Victor.
It was Thresh.
Senna.
Thresh was respected by Mingos in game 2. If they don't, they should ban Seraphine here unless they want to give it up. But Seraphine is also 0 too in this series, right? So maybe Seraphine dropping in priority in this little mini meta we have here. So this could be Thresh, Seraphine, or something else.
The Aphelios. Okay, so they say Star Pwners gotta go.
Yeah, basically, and I can't said this means you could have Kaisa and Samir on the same team, which would be an uphill battle, I think, from start. The first pick, Malphite, it's just a champion that you don't need to pick first because he's not going to be picked up by the other team. So you're going to give 2 power picks away just for that flex possibility. We could see a Seraphine here, but remember, it didn't go so well. It's 0-2 in the series. They could go Rel here. They could go Leona would be a great pickup for red 2 here. So looking to see what Mingos goes. And it's heavy. That's what I'm talking about. All right, that's how you win a game like this for Mingos. I said something's creative. This exactly fits that bill. Viego, a very strong champion in the right hands. He could go jungle. He could go top.
This is my first time seeing Viego in a competitive play. Has he been played in the Pro League at all?
I think he's still disabled for those guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he was disabled for us last week, correct?
He might have been, for us it was 1 week.
Okay.
But for them, they're a whole patch behind. I think it takes pro leagues longer to...
Oh, man, I am excited. I want to see... This is exactly like you said. This is the spicy pick we needed from Mingos for them to take this game.
Definitely.
Oh, man, I'm really excited to see
it's
this play out. I honestly really have seen such minimal gameplay from this champion. Because, to be honest, I haven't been playing much League of Legends myself the last 2 weeks, a couple games here and there. But, I've only seen him in maybe like 1 or 2 of my games that he's, slid through pick and been played. 1 game, absolutely terrible. The guy on my team went like, the next one, he smashed, but the whole team smashed. So it's hard to, when you're just that far ahead in a solo queue game, especially in low elo, it's like you can't really judge a champion based on that. This is my chance to see what this champion really has.
Yeah, so in my opinion, even in these, at this level, Viego, strong champion, it's just your player has to have reps on him. So let's say it's the jungler, for example. If he only has 5-10 Viego games, it could fall flat. Viego's a high-risk, high-reward champion. If he gets hit by CC and it gets chained with one more ability, you could just see him instantly fall. Where on the other hand, if his Conqueror gets procced and he's taking souls from people, he can actually go on a pentakill rampage, right? So almost like Aurelia in terms of the risk and reward that you can get from this pick. We see Galio coming in third. Galio is always a great pick when you have Kaisa lock because for whatever reason, the Kaisa Galio bot lane is a common flex to lock your Galio early, maybe get a better matchup for your mid, and just throw him down in the bot lane there. So a nice 1-2-3 from Mingos, but we do see the combo already kind of coming out from Kent State. We want a Rel ulti, suck everybody in, Malphite over the top, and then Misfortune through the middle. No one champion can survive all of that, so if you have them grouped...
I would love to see it work out on a huge setup. You love to see that kind of stuff as a spectator. The perfect wombo combo setup where you just get like 3 members with that will be crazy. But
Yeah. Oh, and we see Zach coming in, which tells us Viego is either... It's going to be likely Viego mid and Galio support here, unless you want to put Viego top. What I like about Zach is not bad in misfortune stationary. He wants to
cancel the ult with a good setup with E.
Yeah, the enemy team wants to all use their ultis at once in one high impact moment.
Oh yeah.
And if you have a Zach with a re-engage, it could disrupt that.
Sejuani. I mean, look at the wombo here for Kent State University is crazy.
And remember Kenny on Corky?
Yes.
I think their opponent was maybe Day that day, but Kenny was putting up 9-10 CS per minute on Corky, and he got like 2 or 3 kills.
He went insane that game.
He went insane. Yeah. He completely stomped the entire game. Now we get to see where Viego goes. My guess is still in the mid lane with Galio's support, so this could be a top lane pick. Okay, we're getting shook up. Is that a Viego top lane? Galio is definitely support.
Yeah. So, gonna be a Viego top then.
Yeah, they're 1 trade away from Viego in the top lane into Malphite. I gotta say, this has to be like good for Malphite.
Nathaniel right now going, what do you mean, guys? I don't have Viego. Okay, there we go. The trade goes through.
That would be tragedy.
And man, okay, I'm excited to watch this game. So, Viego versus Malphite, what do you think there?
I just don't love Malphite as your matchup for Viego. He is a champ that loves to stack armor, although you do have Zach in the jungle AP and Echo mid AP, so Malphite will think twice about going full armor. But Malphite seems to do well in the champions that just want to auto you and stack their Conqueror because you reduce their attack speed, you chip them, and you run away, right? It's not very interactive. But and then you have Malphite's Sejuani is perfect lockdown to kill a champion like Yone, like I was talking about. All you got to do is CC him and burst him. So I don't love the matchup for Mingos that they got for themselves. Again, it was Malphite picked first. You don't know if it's going to go jungle or top, so they maybe weren't thinking necessarily in that way. But if you can survive lane and get to your items on the Viego, you can still be a force. I'm scared of that Corky.
Yeah, I think the Corky will be fearsome here, and they just have huge wombo combos. So we'll see how that plays out for them. But we're going to head over to a quick break while we wait for the spectator delay, and we will see you guys on the Rift. So
can't wait for this one.
Do not go anywhere.
Don't move. Around 31 here from McMaster University, and York are probably going to have to scrape together everything they can to contest as we see a face check.
We do see an engage from York looking onto the Thresh to try to get something, but unfortunately McMasters is right on the other side of the wall here, ready to follow up. Volibear coming up behind the Camille. He does have ultimate available. He probably won't even need to use it. The tower is not going to deal damage to him at this point. And they were looking, but if you're looking, it's got to be somewhere where the enemy team is not. When you're this far behind, you want to find a target out of position unless you're confident you have the burst. Unfortunately, with how behind York is, I don't think they have burst. And even looking at their champions, they're not bursty champions to begin with.
Not much.
But, I mean, at least they're trying to make plays.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows that they still have the desire to win and desire to be aggressive and not shell up and slowly bleed out, but I don't know if that was the right angle to take.
I think they were hoping after Drake.
Shockwave comes in. They're looking for chunks in the back. I mean, remember, Volibear still has access to ultimate, so a good Shockwave means that Volibear can initiate a dive, disabling the towers, potentially an end angle. Unfortunately, it didn't really look like Shockwave did a whole lot of damage there. I mean, you are against Seraphine, AoE Shield, Moonstone, etc. When they're all grouped up like that, it's nothing